Hello everybody and welcome back to another new and noteworthy mod review. Today we're going to take a look at the Tajfun EGV 80 AHK log winch. But before that, this video is brought to you by MacFlies. Thank you for being a farm baron. So the Tajfun or Tajfun, depending on where you're from, the EGV 80 AHK is an incredible mod. It is first and foremost a log winch, but it has several other functions. This thing first came on the scene in FS17 during the mod contest, and I used this a whole lot in FS17 doing manual logging. I didn't do it much in FS19 because I was kind of tired of logging at that point, and my personal goal is to not use this one bit after this video in FS22. But that's not because this mod is no good. It's because I have lost all interest in playing with logs and farm sim. Now let's take a look at where we're going to find this in the shop. We're going to go to tools and we can scroll down to forestry. Scrolling all over and we have the Tajfun EGV 80 AHK for $4,500. This is the logging winch. We could also come down here to mods and DLCs and find it right there. There are no configuration options on this. You get it as you see it. It will connect to a 3-point attachment. It will need hydraulics, and it will need a PTO. This thing requires just 70 horsepower to operate, but you will likely want some heft behind this as far as the tractor. That way you're going to have plenty of power to push and pull logs around. Now also, to get the most out of this particular mod, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to turn automatic engine start to off. If you play on new farmer mode, this is typically going to be set to on. You're going to want to turn this to off. That way, when you get in the tractor, you're going to have to start the tractor, typically on a keyboard with the enter key. And then when you exit the tractor, it is still running. And that is paramount to the operation of the logging winch. Let's show you some other commands. We have left mouse button up and down, raise and lower the winch. Left mouse button left and right to change the tilt of the winch. We can also lower the winch with the V. And that's important because you're going to want to ground the winch in order to basically give yourself the most pulling power. We also want to turn it on with B. And now that the winch is turned on, we're going to be able to make use of it in all kinds of cool and interesting ways. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this log, and when we get the hand, we're going to hit B, and we're going to attach a chain and a cable from the log to the winch. And then we can use a remote to control the winch. We can hit Z, and we are now pulling the log. Toward the winch ever so slowly. We can speed that up with Shift Z. Maybe we want to pull 2 logs at once. We can hit B to attach a second log, and we can do that. Now, depending on the power of your tractor, the size of your logs and such, you may or may not be able to attach more than 2 or 3 items at a time. The smaller the logs are, the more you'll be able to attach. Given the size of these logs, we're only going to be able to pull 2 with the particular winch and tractor that we have. Now to disconnect, we're going to hit B again to disconnect our chain. And we can complete the process as many times as we want to pull logs or multiple logs. Just like that. But that's not the only thing this particular mod can do. You can also use the mod as a form of a blade to push things. So let's lower our blade. We don't want to lower it all the way to the ground. We want it above the ground a little bit. And now we can push our logs. Get them in kind of in a little nice little row. This is what I like to do when I was doing manual logging. is I would go and cut down a half dozen trees in the forest, and then I would delimb them, and then I would drag them all out to a clearing, either one at a time or a couple at a time. And then I would use the winch to get them all nice and lined up in a nice and pretty row. And then I would use the measure mod to measure out a specific distance. And then I would chainsaw across the logs that particular distance. And I would know that I would have all the logs that were basically, let's say, 6 meters, 8 meters in length. So getting your logs all nice in a line is just that simple. But that's not the only trick this thing has up its sleeve. Let's go take a look up at the shop, and we'll see what else this thing can now do in Farming Simulator 22. So up here I have another winch, this time on a small Z-Tor tractor, and we're going to get in it. We're going to lower the winch, we're going to turn it on, and now with it on, we also now in FS22 have the ability to not only connect logs, we connect other things like pallets, and we can use the winch to move pallets around. We're going to hit B to disconnect. Attach it down low and drag our pallet. I mean, imagine the uses of this around the farm. To just be able to drag pallets of all types. Let's disconnect. Now we cannot move big bags this way. That's a little disappointing. We don't have the ability to connect big bags to the winch, but we can connect liquid fertilizer. And guess what? We can even connect bales to this thing. Move them. Now what we cannot also use, and I really wish we could connect, but we don't have the ability to connect a trailer or another tractor or anything like that to it. But that would be super cool if we could use that. That would be really handy to roleplay all kinds of things about just stuff being stuck. Guys, that is the Tajfun, or the Tajfun EGV 80 AHK logging winch slash pushing blade slash general purpose winch, chain, rope, whatever you want to call it. Let me know down in the comments below, have you used this in a previous version of Farm Sim? Or are you apt to use this now that you have seen this video and you can see some of the features and functions that this particular mod can offer? And until next time, happy farming.